dialogue is. What the fuck is this thing? All of the windshield, for fuck's sake. Oh, fuck. What the fuck did I say? That didn't sound for shit, did it? And here, under the hood, we've stored something that'll really come in handy if it doesn't fall out and break my leg. Ah! What we're doing is we're building a fucking industrial film, trying to give these guys everything they can get to me. That's it. Fuck it. I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying. We suppose we open... Got to do it again, right now. Oh, fuck. 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 Oh, fuck. Shit. Tony, do me a favor, will you please? Will you? Will you do me a kindness?
Leave.
Yeah.
I think I want to be walking in and out if you're going to fuck up and I got to come back.
I don't make any difference to me at this juncture. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, Tony. Don't slam the fucking door. No more. Listen, I've got to give a clue here now. I don't want any more bullshit anytime during the day from anyone. That includes me. It's going to be very hot. It's going to be very uncomfortable for everybody. Want anybody yelling. We get anybody yelling around here anymore today, and then the shit is going to hit the fan. And they fit the diverse needs of a very big fern, and they fit the needs of a very diverse buyer segment. Why can't I remember? I wrote this stuff. Why can't I remember it? Why don't I say it fucking right? What does the goddamn line say, Tony? What is the goddamn line? I don't give a shit what the line is. I fucked up the word rear. I can't even read the fucking VO straight. What the fuck was that? We got flies all over the fucking place. Son of a bitch. Get out of here, you fucking flies. There's a fly over the headlight, Tony. We got flies coming for us. Fuck. Fuck out of here, you flies. We got 3 flies, 5 flies. And if you will, make sure, if you will, we don't have that fly on the left side, on the passenger side, because we don't have that in frame, but make sure we don't have any flies here. And we don't have any flies. Here we go. Get out of here, you goddamn jackass. I gotta read it again because my mind is just a piece of shit this morning. God, I can't fucking make my mind work. Tony, give me a towel for just a minute, please. That... I'm blinded by that fucking hot light. Goddamn son of a bitch! What do you mean, I'm gonna fall off the fucking thing? Fuck. Just keep running. Bullshit. I'm gonna slate this fucker. All right, I haven't got time to mark this motherfucker. Here we go again. We can't hear anybody. Nobody can talk to anybody.
Still speeding.
Well, turn the fucking thing off, you dumbass. And I'd like to kick your fucking head in. Meet innovation. Money. Fuck. Not even funny anymore. Son of a bitch! Jesus Christ. Fuck! Shit. Son of a bitch. Jesus Christ. Fuck. Shit. Son of a bitch. Jesus Christ. Oh, fuck. Shit. Son of a bitch. Jesus Christ. Fuck off! What the hell's the line? Shit! What the fuck is it? Can't remember the goddamn line. The accoutrement that you will need. Accoutrement? What is that shit? I don't know, shit. It's just all gone. I get so goddamn diuretic when I sit here, and my mouth just never stops. For 1989, each individual storage compartment has this controlled light that you can put up your fern if you want to. How's that? What shot is it? Oh, shit. What did I do? Did I walk through it? It's going to be very helpful in keeping you from falling down, you big dumb son of a bitch. You're disturbing what's left of my brain. Yeah, but my mind is such shit. To say nothing of the flies in my head. Got a fly in my mouth and every fucking other thing happens. If I knew what the rest of the line was, then I would be in good shape. It's amazing how I just babble. Uh-oh. I guess my mind is going again.
My body is dismembered from my mind.
4, 3.
Fuck it.
There's no words on it.
Tomorrow. Fuck it.
We'll do it live.
Fuck it.
Cause I've never seen that.
Fucking thing sucks. There's no words there.
Fuck it.
There's no words on it.
Tomorrow.
Fuck it.
We'll do it live.
Fuck it.
Cause I've never seen that.
Fucking thing sucks. There's no words there.
I don't know. Fuck. 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 I don't know what. Go. I can't do it.
Fuck it.
Go. I can't do it.
Fuck it.
Go. I can't do it.
Fuck it.
Go. I can't do it.
Thanks again for watching.
Fuck it.
There's no words on it.
Tomorrow.
Fuck it.
We'll do it live.
Fuck it.
Cause I've never seen that.
Fucking thing sucks. There's no words there.
Fuck it.
There's no words on it.
Tomorrow.
Fuck it.
We'll do it live.
Fuck it.
Cause I've never seen that.
Fucking thing sucks. There's no words there.
Okay. Ready?
Take it away.
Go. Yeah. Go. Yeah. Go. Yeah.
Fuck it.
We'll do it live.
Go. Yeah. Go. Yeah. Go. Yeah.
Fuck it.
We'll do it live.
Fuck it.
Go.
Fuck it.
Go.
Fuck it.
Go.
Fuck it.
Go.
Fuck it.
What does that mean? To play us out? To end the show? Yeah.
Yo. Hello. All right. Yo. We are fucking live. All right, everybody. Dark Horse Live, episode 41. Tonight with us, we have Koma the Grower. So, yeah, it's going to be a good one. All right, let's right off the bat. You already know what the fuck we do on this show if you're here early, so free shit. Maybe.
It's free!
There it is. All right, on the show is Koma, so the keyword is going to be Koma. We're giving away Stockton Slap seeds, 12-pack. The email that you're going to send is at the very bottom of your screen. Free shit email, darkhorsegenixlive@gmail.com. I will pick the 10th, the 30th, and the 75th person, so we'll give away 3 of these fuckers and get them out to you guys. If you are watching, you may have already won. I'm on like 2 or 3 shows behind right now, so I will catch up later tonight or tomorrow and get those out. So some of you guys who have won, you guys may have already be winners. You just don't fucking know it right now. But once again, the keyword is Koma, and yeah, I have Koma joining me here, so let me plug him in. Sign. There we go. This should work. Let me see if I got him. Hold. There we go. Koma, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes,
All
sir.
right, we got him. Welcome. Thank you for doing this, man. I really appreciate you coming on Dark Horse Live. It's an honor to have you on here. So, as we do with all of our guests, we kind of just do like a tell us your journey. And I always start at the very beginning. Can you tell us the first time, your first cannabis experience? You remember what your first time you ever got high, bro?
Yeah, my first cannabis experience, I didn't get high, but I think it's worth telling the story. When we were little grimy street kids, all of our parents were fucking losers, and they would leave like, fucking weed little tins around and shit or whatnot. I'm sure every one of us, any of you 80s kids, I'm sure know exactly what I'm talking about. And I found my mom's like little tin, and I didn't know what I was doing, and I grabbed a bunch of fucking stems and seeds, and I walked up the street, and I told my friend Snot and this late chick Lisa McClooney, I was like, I got some weed. I was like, let's smoke it. And they made like a tinfoil pipe, and we sat on the corner of Homeland and McWade and fucking took stemmy seed hits.
That's where it
fucking
starts.
epic. But yeah, I didn't get high, and then like I didn't smoke weed for years, probably like maybe like 3 years, 4 years after that. But
Yeah, that would probably put you off smoking that bullshit.
I just was always just running wild. I didn't have time to stop and do anything really, like sit down, and I don't know what it was, but it just never like got to me. And then the first time I smoked, I was in Texas. I used to walk home from junior high the same way as this guy Josh that I ended up being really good friends with, still talk to today. But he would walk about a block in front of me or a block behind me, and we did that for a couple months maybe. And one day we were leaving school, and he just said, "Hey," he's like, "we walk the same way. Let's walk together." And we were just walking. And he's like, "You smoke weed, man?" And I didn't want to be like a bitch. I didn't want to. I didn't want to be lame to this guy. So I was like, "Yeah, I smoke weed, but I didn't smoke weed. I had never fucking smoked weed." And he goes, "All right, let's just drop your backpack. Let's go to my house, and I got some weed we could smoke." And I was like, "All right, fuck yeah." Mind you, I've only been in Texas maybe like 6 months, 8 months. I don't really have any friends and shit. So I was so fucking stoked, like I dropped my backpack off at my house. We continue to walk another mile to his house. We get inside his trailer and we go back to his room, and he's got like a couch in his room, and he just reaches under this like fucking shitty love seat couch and pulls out a gallon freezer baggie, fucking stuffed to the brim. We are in 7th grade. This is Texas in the fucking early 90s. It's like 94. And this kid who's in 7th grade has a fucking gallon freezer baggie stuffed. And we just started taking bong rips off of this red plastic, one of those red plastic, like half bent back with the finger
Graphics.
fucking carved.
Yeah.
And dude, I just got torn.
I can hear him, so it looks like we're fucking back. It's always something with this fucking show. I tell you what, it's a true live show. So there you go. You've seen an actual live fuck up. But yeah, we're back. So where I last heard what you were telling me, you were talking about Texas 7th grade, huge pounds, and getting high with the graphics bong or the plastic bong. So you I'll edit this shit back together. But you kind of want to take off from there, or tell me where you were going with.
Yeah. Let me snack this dibble here.
Yes, sir. Welcome back,
Cheers,
everybody.
Everybody who joined. I know a bunch of people were asking me earlier on my live if they were going to be able to watch. So,
yeah, darkhorse.live. If you're on IG, you can see a better version of the screen on darkhorse.live, just like the web address, darkhorse.live. Or if you go to YouTube or Twitch, there's like a full screen. So you can see the whole fucking thing. If you're on IG, you're just seeing like, I don't know, 5/16 of the screen.
Do that shit right. God damn it. I'm supposed to do this right here. That's how all the heady kids do it. They take their banger ass pendants and they take dabs with them, and they like hold them in the screen while they're dabbing off their rig. I'm like, I always watch it. I'm like, I'm trying to figure it out. Like, I'm not drawing a line in my fucking head here. This is what it is. But yeah, basically, dude, that guy Josh, just fast forward a little bit. His pops was a badass grower in Texas in the 90s, so he was stealing pot from his dad. Really good homegrown pot. He had about a half a pound stuffed in his couch that he didn't realize how much pot he had taken from his dad. His dad had probably 20, 30 packs, I'm assuming. So I'd seen a pile of weed later on in our relationship, me and my friend Josh. I saw a pile of weed in his dad's closet that was at least a couple 10-pound bricks. So I know his dad was a gangster, and it was just it was a nice introduction to the plant. Like, I remember feeling a huge relief because like I got really fucked up, and my whole life I had been carrying like a weight on me, and I didn't know what it was. I grew up with no real family ties, and everything was fucked up. Like, it was all wrong.
That's actually, I started to interrupt you, but that's actually one of my questions that I want to ask you right now is, what kind of kid were you? Were you like a good kid? In my head, I think of the movie Problem Child. I don't really know you that personally, but I think of the movie Problem Child. I'm like, that's Koma as a kid.
Yeah, I was a bad kid.
I was a bad kid. He said, yeah.
I was a horrible child. Like, I broke windows and I couldn't keep my hands off of things that didn't belong to me. I was just an absolute horrible child. But I look back now that I have children and I'm an adult and I know about how children are like how they're programmed. It was just survival shit. I was just like in my own world because nobody was there. Nobody was disciplining me. Nobody was taking care of me. I lived on the streets. Like, I was raised by other kids. So of course it's going to be a total fucking mess. Like, that's automatic. Like, I'm lucky to have made it out and to have done something different. So a lot of the people that come from where I'm from are just, they're dead or in cages, or they're living empty lives, and they don't help anyone, and they don't provide any light to anybody's existence. And I feel like I've ran very far away from all of what that is. So
Sure.
yeah, definitely it was a great first experience. I threw up all over the floor in his room, sunflower seeds that I had been eating on the way to his house, and we both laughed about it. And then I just smoked weed with him for years. Him and a kid named Ian. We were like the Tres Amigos, and we just got fucking high every day after school. Like, before school, after school, we were just fucking constantly trying to get pot to get high. That was like 7th, 8th, 9th grade, pretty much just like every fucking day.
It's a little unrelated, but it leads me to another question I have for you, because you're kind of like a car guy. What was your first car? What was the first car that you ever called yours?
My first car was a Ford. Well, see, this is where it gets weird. I got given a fucking Cadillac Coupe de Ville from my grandma.
Oh yeah.
When I was like 20 years old, and I crashed it like 2 months after she gave it to me. And I fucking did like it's a kind of a crazy story, dude. But yeah, like, I lost that car, and I bought a car, a Ford Taurus, like a 99 Ford Taurus, that one with the weird bubble back end and the bubble window, that ugly fucking 1999. Pull it up on your phone right now if you want to see Koma's first car. But I got it, and it held my tools in the trunk, dude. I used to bang nails and shit, so I didn't really need much. I just needed to be able to get from A to B and hold my saws and my compressor and my fucking bags, dude. And that's what it did. I drove to work every day in it, and that's fuck it. I put a bunch of stickers. I would get pulled over all the time. The whole back window's covered in stickers. And one of my friends passed away. His name was Piss Drunk. That was like his nickname. So I put in these giant white letters, R.I.P. Piss Drunk 8606. And fucking all the cops would ever see is piss drunk. Like, that's what they would. I know that's why they were pulling me over. I literally would get pulled over like every month, and they would just look at me, look through my car, and let me go. And it was just constant. Like, oh my God, that fucking car. Jesus Christ.
So talk to me a little bit about like the start of your growing. Like, why did you start growing cannabis? Obviously, I think I know because you were smoking it heavily. But what led you to growing cannabis?
So growing seriously that is definitely a separate situation and story from the first times I grew pot. The very first time I grew pot, I grew a plant in a fucking 15-gallon pot that was maybe 8 inches tall, and it had 2 buds on it that were, I didn't know anything about light schedules or anything. I don't even know like what was happening, but I had 2 buds on it, and then I decided to clone the plant. Just
cloning flowering shit. I got you.
For a second. Just let that sit on you guys for a second. My very first pot plant. It's week 6 of 12/12. I'm assuming maybe week 7 even. And someone told me, hey, you can grow that pot again if you clone it. And I was like, clone it, huh? And he's all, yeah, just take a branch, cut it, and stick it in water, and it will root, and then you can grow more weed. And I was like, done deal. So I took one of the 2 buds on this little plant, and I cut it off, and I put it in water, and then it rotted. And then, there was that. So that was the first pot plant I ever grew. Maybe a couple years later, I did something that I don't know if I've ever talked about online. I think I might have talked about it, but I definitely have never gone into depth about what I did. I was living in this little neighborhood, and I decided to finally, I'm going to grow some pot. We had already been smoking pot for a while, and it was time. I want to grow this shit. I know I don't need to pay for it. but there was nowhere to grow it. So I got pretty 007. The next door neighbors we had a wooden fence that separated our yards, like wooden planked fence, probably about 10-inch wide planks, half-inch thick planks, just wooden planked fence. And on their side of the fence was a cactus wall about 5 feet off of the fence. That was just this huge cactus wall they had in their yard. So my smart ass realizes that on their side of the fence, there's a gap in between that cactus wall and the fence that's on their side of the fence. So this is fucking amazing. Now that I look back, I just can't even fucking fathom that I did this. I jumped over their fence. I knocked off 2 planks in the middle of the night, and I took them into my yard and I hooked them together. I hooked them together with a piece of wood, and then I put them back on the fence with 2 hinges on their side and painted the hinges brown so you couldn't even see them, and basically made a swinging door that worked from my side of the fence to their side of the fence in between that gap of the cactus. So I did that probably like 2 weeks before I put any plants back there. I did that, and then for the next couple weeks, I dug 2 giant fucking holes in their backyard, and I was bringing the soil back into my yard. This is so fucking crazy. Mind you, I'm like 17 years old, dude. I'm a fucking kid. I don't even know what the fuck I got going on in my head. Honestly, probably not. I dig these 2 giant holes over like maybe a 10-day period. And then we start bringing in our own soil. So we're bringing in all this fucking bag soil from Home Depot and shit. We're just like potting soil, just bags and bags of it. We fill these fucking things up, and then we drop in some plants that my friend had given me that were perfect time, like maybe a foot tall. It's the very beginning of summer in Southern California. And now I have some sativa dom. Both of these plants were sativa dom plants in these fresh holes, fucking sun all day long. I'm not even joking, dude. It wasn't even July, and these fucking things are absolutely massive. And what I had been doing was just every other night opening the fence and bucketing water from my side of the fence into these holes that are right on the other side of the fence. This is the second time I've attempted to grow cannabis. I don't have any buds on these plants. They're just these fucking giant vegging plants. And I don't know anything about pot. I really don't know much about it. Mind you, this is kind of like pre-internet. Like there might have been like web TV or something. Like you might have been able to get internet, but I didn't have no fucking internet. So I didn't know anything. Like there was no one to ask. Like I made this joke on my live the other day. I was like, we only knew what we knew and we didn't know anything. Like I want to tell people like, dude, you know what it's like to not know anything and then you have to figure it out by fucking up? That's how I grew up. So like I basically look over the fence one day. It's like July, maybe the second week of July. It had been fucking 110 degrees. I look over the fence because I can see the top of the pot plants on my side of the fence, but they're still lower than the cactus wall, this giant cactus wall. So I was like, whatever. Like I didn't even think about pulling them, tying them down or anything. I didn't know what the fuck to do with them. I was just watching this shit play out. I look over the fence one day and they are fucking wilted. But nothing major. Just what happens when a plant's like fully dry, you know what I mean? So the leaves are like kind of shutting down. And it was like maybe 5 at night. We still had another 3 hours of sunlight, soft sunlight. But we had another 3 hours of sunlight. And then I was always watering at like 10 o'clock at night. I wanted to make sure whoever was over there was asleep. But I couldn't do it, man. I saw my plants, dude, all this work, all this effort, all this time, all this energy, bro. And I didn't know what I was looking at. I just see leaves like laying down, like, yay. And I'm fucking losing it, man. I'm freaking out. I told my homie, I was like, listen, I don't know what to do, man. I got to fucking water them right now. There was still light out. So I open the fence. I prop it up with the stick. I have a stick on my side that holds the fence open. I start taking buckets of water, right? And I'm putting buckets of water. All of a sudden, I just hear out of the yard, that's their yard, I just hear, "Hey, who the fuck is back there?" Oh my God. Oh my fucking God. Dude, my dick and balls climbed inside of my chest. They were like up near my lungs. I was so fucking afraid. I jumped through the fence. This is so crazy. I jumped through the fence, closed the fence, 007 in my yard. Like, the guy can probably see me, but maybe not. I don't know. He's already like walking over. I run inside my house, close the door. I'm looking like a fucking crackhead out this fucking tiny ass little crack in the blinds. And I'm watching this dude, and he's standing right on the other side of the fence in between the cactus. And he's just standing there, and he like peeks his head up and looks into my yard and sees I have all this water, all these big ass water jugs laid out for these two big plants. He looks in my yard, looks at these pot plants, goes back into his yard, and I'm like, I'm going to fucking prison. I'm going to fucking prison. Like, that's what I thought. I'm a young kid, dude. I don't know much. I just know we're not allowed to grow pot, and we're definitely not allowed to grow pot in our neighbors' yards with secret trap doors. This is all bad. This is all bad. So he goes back up into his fucking yard. I sit there and I wait, and then like a couple hours go by. It starts to get dark, and I was like, nothing's happened. No cops have come. Nothing's happened. So I told my friend, I was like, listen, we're going to dig them up, and we're going to dig them out right now and put them in trash cans. And he's all, you're fucking crazy. And I was like, oh, yeah, you think I'm fucking crazy? So literally, right when it gets dark, I prop the fence back open. I jump through, and with a spade shovel, like you told me that the fucking Pharaoh's fucking tomb gold was right there. I was like, you. I just dug this giant fucking trench around this plant. Got the first one out, stuffed it into a giant trash can, like the giant trash cans that they give you for the city with the fucking wheels on them. I put one of them in that. I like literally pulled this giant fucking plant out. It was like a 50-gallon plus of soil. I shoved that with my friend into one of those trash cans. We wheel it through the fence. It's just a total fucking mess, dude. It's mangled. It's all fucked up. Go back to get the second one. Do the same thing. Takes maybe 2 hours, maybe. Leave the holes all fucked up. Leave his fence with the hinges. I just left it all. I just closed it and act like it never fucking happened. I fucking put them on the side of my house, and they just fucking died. They just died. It took like maybe like 3 days. They fought like weed plants would fight, but then they just died because I had fucking ripped them out. And I was just like, it was this horrible, like, the whole thing just totally traumatized me, dude. Like, I didn't want to grow weed there, and I didn't grow weed in California for like the whole time. That was like the last attempt of me growing weed there like that. And I just came to Oregon later on in my life for whatever, you know, that's a whole story of why I came here. And then I ended up growing here in Oregon, and booyah.
So that was, you sort of answered one of my questions on here, but kind of who taught you. And as you sort of mentioned, like you were started at a time when nobody knew shit, but did you have a mentor or a go-to book or somebody teach you kind of the ropes? Anybody you attribute that to?
When I was in 7th grade, I had a teacher named Thomas Ray, who was just a botanist, a science teacher, who was like really into plants, into soil livity. Basically, he understood very simple concepts that I think a lot of growers try to go past, like just nutrient availability.
Sure. I mean, I always
those
say
2 words.
shit's
Those
8th
2
grade
words.
science.
You want to make good seeds? Nutrient availability. You want to have big buds? Nutrient availability. You want to have bomb flavor in your cannabis? Nutrient availability. It's like all of this stuff ties to nutrient availability. Without that, none of this other, I'm going to put a freaking half a gallon of honey in the feeding this time. Oh, it's going to freaking taste so good. That's not how this plant works. It's not how life works. It's so strange that a bunch of people that are lazy and fucking weird got into the weed industry and started passing around all these dumbass wives' tales that are not, they don't hold any value in the real world after like real testing, after beta testing. You start really testing your own gardens and testing your own strains and really your own work, you'll find out, bro, it's genetic potential and then letting that play itself out. So how do we keep genetic potential on the board? We have to make sure phenotypic expression is taken care of. Like on our end, we're not going to be having these crazy temperature spikes and swings. Oh, well, fuck, it's purple or it's tiny. The buds are so small. Well, dude, you had temperature swings so bad. We don't know. Maybe it's not a tiny bud strain. Maybe it's a big bud strain. You're a fucking asshole because you don't know how to grow weed. So it's one of those things where like the simple concepts that I learned from Thomas Ray, I've used for fucking the whole time I've been growing cannabis, and they're just incredibly simple. Just things like that. Nutrient availability. He taught me about letting mediums dry out, about how essentially fungus and bacteria breathe oxygen too. So for them to properly, all of the things that you get from a relationship, a beneficial symbiotic relationship that you'll have with fungi and your roots, mycorrhizae and bacteria and sugar and all of this, none of that works if there's too much moisture. None of it. So all of it's pointless, and all of the enzyme reaction and everything that you can start tying together, this whole chain, it just falls apart. It falls apart if you don't have nutrient availability, if you don't have like, I don't want to say like a specific temperature, but you guys know what I'm talking about. When there's, dude, I've been in rooms before, right when I walk in, I'm like, oh my God, it's so disgusting in here. If it's uncomfortable to you, it's uncomfortable to them. You can guarantee it. So that's why a lot of people are not growing good pot. They're completely disconnected from plants. They're not even, they're not there. And Thomas Ray taught me to be there, taught me to lock in. And that was in 7th grade. And I'm telling you right now, like I said, I'm still using a bunch of the stuff, the simple stuff. It's not even crazy stuff, but he definitely taught me to pay attention to a lot of the little things that have helped me fucking just leaps and bounds. Thomas Ray, 7th grade, 8th grade.
Nice. Let's talk strains, genetics, terps, favorite strain to smoke. What was like when you're starting out, what was some of the first strains you remember growing, and some of your favorite strains of all time, just as, you know, your smoking career, I'll call it?
When I started growing in Oregon, we had gotten a roommate and they had one hood. So we bought another hood for flower, and that gave us 2. They had some strains already. So essentially her husband left her, and she was alone and she didn't grow weed. So she said, hey, will you guys move into my house and your husband can grow the pot? She was friends with my wife. And so we took it up. We went with it. He left a feeding schedule on the wall, and I'd never like grown pot really. So he left a feeding schedule on the wall, and he left strains there. There was a strawberry cough cut. There was a Alaskan thunderfuck cut. There was a cut called the Crippler that was over there. That's an Oregon cut. That's absolutely fucking amazing. I wish it's easy, dude. If I could have one cut that I don't have in my stable right now, that's what I would get, is the Crippler. I only had it for one harvest, and then I didn't know how to clone, bro.
Sure, you didn't know shit when you had the fire as genetic.
Yeah, and I fucking literally took clones from it and then put them in a dome and sealed the dome for 14 days. I'd never opened the dome. I read that on a forum. Some dude was talking about that's how to clone. And mind you, these early tribulations, these early fucking crazy trials that I went through learning all of this is a big reason why I decided to do the Patreon, why I decided to be the type of thing that I've done online, where I help younger growers and I help any grower that needs help. If they come to me and they're asking, I try to do the write-ups and cover a lot of the bases before, so that way they don't even need to ask, because I didn't have nowhere to go, dude. It's so weird. If you go back 10 years ago and you look online, you'll see like all these crazy people that are all trying to be famous with weed. It's so weird, dude, how this all happened. And I remember having this conversation with someone. I said, dude, all these personalities on YouTube, none of these people will be known in like 10 years. Sure as shit. None of those people that were on YouTube, I am like one of the only ones. Grower, the guy from Washington is another one. But there was like this whole online community of growers, and I remember thinking these people are all crazy. Like just almost all of them were crazy. They were just crazy people, man. Like it was interaction after interaction of crazy people. It started to make me think that I was crazy. And then I realized I was like, no, this is what this is. Everyone wants to be the guy. I know I can help you. I can help you. Come to me. I'm going to make a page. I have all the tutorials. And anybody that was online 10 years ago knows exactly what I'm talking about. Every single forum was polluted with all these people talking about the tech, but nobody had any pictures. Nobody had any proof. It was just talking 3 pounds of light. Oh, if you don't get 3 pounds of light, you're not even doing it right. Blah, blah, blah. Just like all this, like, blah. It's like, no, 3 pounds of light is subjective to genetics. First things first. Like there's literally cuts that it's fucking goddamn near impossible to get 3 pounds of light. Forum cookies is one of them.
Sure. I think
You
that
have to
happened
grow like
too a little bit because Overgrow got taken down, which was one of the original forum spots. And when Overgrow left, that was like the resource for the real information. And when that left, is like a million charlatans kind of came up, or snake oil salesmen, and be like, I got that data. I got that stuff I copy pasted off Overgrow. You know what I mean? And it sort of spawned like this whole carpetbagger mentality that moved forward.
And it feels good to help. I'm assuming it feels good to those people, even though they're fake. They're like faking it. Because I know for me, like I know some things about cannabis fucking through and through. I've studied them. I've used them. I've tried them. I've beta tested it. I've like, that's what I'm saying. It's different, right? When you're hands on, you're decades in, you're like, it's a thing. So then like, I just get completely like, I don't even know how to like express it other than just frustration. and I know that I get happy when I'm helping someone and I know that they got real help. So I'm assuming if I was a crazy person that was like fake helping, that I would still have that trigger in my fucking human brain where I'd be like, oh yeah, oh, they're saying thank you to me.
It's better
like,
to give than receive. The old adage is true. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it does feel good
yeah.
to give, you know. And if you've actually ever given in proper sense or done some shit that, you know, where you really stepped up and I don't know, whatever it may be in your own circumstances where you were giving something, be it your time, something financial, whatever, it's like it does feel good when you step back from that situation and be like, look, I helped out in that scenario. And it may even be the little information. So I agree with you there.
Absolutely.
Talk to me a little bit about your starting prolific co-seeds or early work. I don't know your early breeding work. Did you work with anybody early on, or is this just sort of your own joint the entire time? And what was this sort of your take me through the start of your company?
What happened with PCS was basically like I had failed. I just kept failing. And it got to the point too where like I didn't know why I was failing. I was questioning myself. I've said this many times and I'll say it again. I didn't know why I was struggling. I couldn't get fucking $1,200 for the shit I was growing, dude. A pound. I was drowning. People were like, I'll give you 800 maybe. Like, it was just rubbish on rubbish. And it kept being rubbish. And I was growing seeds from, at the time, the biggest names in the cannabis industry. And before we're out of here, I want to make a statement about what I was feeling. And I'll just do it right now. There was a handful of people that had horses on the track and they're running laps. And so they think they're the fastest and they're, oh man, look at my horse. Oh, I got a racehorse. And it's because nobody else was on the track. Fuck, if you put 10 donkeys on a track and they run around, people will bet on them eventually. So what you had was people that had balls. Yeah, some of these early guys that started doing this shit before everybody, because it was fucking sketchy back in the day. So I give them props there. But you tell me right now, who's growing some of those dudes? The people that started all this, And the reason why nobody grows that shit is because it's fucking mids, bro. And the younger breeders that are here, be it all the people, you could throw all the shade you want on anybody you want, doesn't matter. There is no watering down of strains. That's theoretically and logically impossible if you understand fucking cuts at all. I would have to have every single sour diesel cut to water down sour diesel. Whatever project I do in my garage, no matter how shitty it ever ends up being, does not affect the cut of sour diesel as long as that's somewhere and someone is protecting it. Which, trust me, you fucking weirdos, it's all protected. It's all somewhere. So fucking relax. The younger breeders have brought a level to cannabis that is fucking unseen. Unseen. 45 a pack, 52 a pack, 350 on the zip, all the way up. Motherfuckers feasting, changing their whole existences for generational. Not even just, oh, I'm going to change my life for a year or two and have some stories. Haha, remember when we used to eat good? Remember when we had dope cars? Oh, yeah, as they're clocking into the factory job. Remember when we made $50K that month? Haha. Remember when we stacked a $500,000 that year? Oh, yeah, that was crazy. Clocking into the job at the fucking construction site. No, these people are building stuff that's going to last forever. And it's from new genetics and new stuff. It's not from fucking Panama Red, you assholes. Stop sitting around acting like these dudes gave us the fucking holy grails of cannabis. Look at the pictures of old cannabis. It's fucking rags. The young breeders have brought something that is gonna, I'm telling you, man, people don't understand this. And if you don't want to understand it, you don't have to understand it. But I'm telling you, it doesn't make it not true.
Sure, I would point to
It not true.
I would point to the advent of, just the HID light in like the late 80s, and the fact that some of the strains you're talking about, they could do one breeding project a year. You know what I mean? Think of like they had one shot, one summer, we did one thing, and then next summer we'll do the F2 next summer or some shit. Where when you introduce an HID light in the 80s and even more advanced lighting in the 90s, and indoor grow rooms and bigger spaces with cooling, and guys turning strains that are longer flowering times to shorter flowering times, and then now some might say polluting them, but at the same time crossbreeding the fuck out of all of it, shortening shit, finding diamonds here or there. And yeah, it's been an evolution of cannabis. But yeah, I would say right along with what you're saying is I think the information gap, because like you said, all we had was bro science. It was like, I heard this, bro, if you do that, you're going to get a lot. And now, if you look at where we are today, there's data in huge grow facilities on everything from par readings to ppm levels to, I could send you a fucking SOP on how to grow dank when shit didn't fucking exist before. So it's fast track.
Yeah.
It's sort of like the tech industry where something doubles every year, or not even every year. Like the processor speed is just doubling, tripling, doubling. And we're in that lightning phase where things are going wild. There is some shit veering off left and veering off right, but there's also like lightning speed work going on, which is pretty monumental. And if you look at the scale of the time of cannabis, we're still so much more to learn as far as isolating out different compounds and shit.
We're infantile.
We're not even
that.
truly
We're
helping to medicinal cannabis. We take the entire plant because we don't know what part fixes what, or you know what I mean. We're just like, just take RSO, just bombard it with as much as we can figure out, because we don't really know right now. It's all out of tech. It's like, well, what if we could isolate delta 8 or 7, 9 compounds, and all of a sudden it's like, oh well, this milligram for this, and with a regimen, this shit is coming, folks, and we're gonna be able to knock some of this stuff out.
Dude, as soon as they can pre-screen people genetically and find out the precursors and the markers that we have in our bodies, that will be the true, and then we'll actually be able to find out like what is happening to people when they eat certain foods. And like we're like so close. I really feel like we're incredibly close. I'd say probably 10, 20 years before our lifetimes. If we get lucky to be old men, then we'll get to see some like insane advances. I mean, obviously we can only hope. Who knows? By the looks of it, we might be going backwards. Who knows?
I do say the way forward is backwards. Yeah, you're right. So
you can eat outside, but as long as the outside doesn't look like inside, unless it's inside framed up like outside but inside. Hold on, I'm confused, bro. I can't even do it.
Let's bring it back to some of your genetics, though. I do want to give you an opportunity to talk about some of your strains. Tell me about some of your best strains, what you're most notable for. with your bestseller? Just talk a
I
little bit about
feel
your
like
stuff.
the first stuff that we dropped, the Meow, the Cake Bomb,
Yeah, Cake Bomb.
the Case S'mores, they seem to be the like the stuff that, and I don't know if that's just the way that seed works. I kind of a new player here, so I'm not sure if I'll know in the next 2 years. So there's it's either one or the other. Either people really enjoy that first stuff that much, or it takes a year or so of something being on the market and really saturating grow rooms for the word of mouth and pictures to kind of gain traction for that seed to grab hold. If it's not hype,
Totally.
if it's not something that's super hypey, that shit sells out super fast, of course. Whether it ends up being good or not, I feel like there's a lot of stuff that's being made and sold by all types of people. That's just it's not going to hold up. It won't be good.
Well,
So
that's kind of like you mentioned some of the newer breeders that we've seen come and go, and that's part of that I don't know, formula is you come out with a bunch of shit that sounds good, but then everyone buys it, grows it. It's either herm or dog shit, or they don't like it, and you can never sell another bean, so you just sort of fade away. You know what I mean? And we've seen a lot of that happen.
That's the best part about selling seed, man. And I don't care. I've literally fell in love with that. That it's like capitalism to the fucking core. You made something. If it's good, people will like it and they'll buy it. And if it's not, they won't, and you will fuck off. And it's just perfect because I can't force someone to grow my seed in their garden, and I can't go feed the seed in your garden or grow it for you. So when I'm getting all this great feedback all the time on these crosses, I know that I did it right, and it just does feel good, and it's special, and I know that that's gonna be like, dude, the first stuff that we did, Proxima, Gas Valley, Meow, like we're talking about being able to bring real gas, real profiles of myrcene fucking gas, real gas, not. So that's where I started PCS, was because I had already grown this Kush and this OG and all these people putting Kush and OG on packs of seeds that have no OG. There's no gas here. This is not gas. This is a plant. It smells like plant. It tastes like plant. And I can't sell fucking plant packs, motherfucker. It smells like fucking plant. I remember, dude, there was one this guy is totally off the face of the earth now, but he was really well known. About 7 years ago, shot me maybe $1,500 in seed for free. And then I bought another 500 in seed, and I did all of it in one shot. And it was fucking AIDS. It was fucking AIDS, dude. It was the worst. And I just thought in my head, I was like, does he not understand that I have kids? Like, that I'm trying to feed my family? Like, and it was just one of these things that kind of just set the tone. And I realized there's no way I can't do this better than what I just did right now. There's no fucking way. No way. I don't give a fuck. I know I don't know a lot about it. I know I'm completely, even now, I'm learning all the time and I'm reading new stuff, and it is what it is. I'm gaining traction and learning about the depth of it. It's one of those things that I think is so deep that I don't know if you'll ever get to the end per se, unless you're a super fucking nerd. But that's not me. I'm like I'm a street kid, dude. So I'm always like, I don't know. I'm just always sucking in new info. I'm always sucking in stuff, not dicks. God damn it. You guys are fucking bad, man. Anyways, but yeah, I'm always trying to suck up information and make sure that I'm getting better. And I feel like giving myrcene, gassy, real profiles to people in Kentucky and people in fucking Venezuela, or somebody who lives in fucking Munich, fucking somebody who lives in Germany. These people don't know what gas is, bro. I had a guy hit me up from fucking the Philippines the other day. And he sent me a picture of gas, bro. It was gas. I could see it. We all know what gas looks like. I saw it in the picture. I say, if he doesn't fucking hang it up outside next to a fucking river swamp with the rugs, it will taste fire, as long as he doesn't fuck up the last part. And I was thinking in my head, I'm like, PCS, Philippines, gas. Like, that's real.
Totally.
It's not a joke. It's not a dream. Somebody can have real gas anywhere. Go
I'll
to
say
Idaho, bro.
you have worldwide distribution, so you essentially, it's a weird feeling. I know the feeling that you're kind of talking about. When all of a sudden the DMs start coming from all across the globe, or Russia, or like
Yeah,
Australia, or just like say Thailand, or you're like, whoa, like this
Super
is
rad.
kind of sort of weirds you out, but at the same time, it's like, wait a minute, man, like it makes you feel like you have, I don't want to say more power, but it's like you can actually touch the earth. Like the earth becomes
The
smaller.
responsibility becomes incredibly different too for some reason. I don't know why I didn't think about it, but when I launched PCS, I didn't think about people in other fucking places of the world growing it. And as soon as I realized that it was like that there was people in Australia and people in South America that were buying the seed and growing it, I felt even more of a responsibility to deliver good seed. The reason why PCS was started was from failure. It was from disrespect, and I just knew I would never do that to farmers. And I've yet, like I said, the only mutants are our haters. I've literally never seen anything like this. Everything is fire. If it gets dropped to market, it's fire. So it's the studs, period. Because all these cuts, the King Louis cut, the Scots, Face on Fire, Wi-Fi 3, Zookies, fucking the Dosey Forum, like these are all cuts that are out there. People have these cuts. So why isn't everybody just making badass offspring with these cuts? And then I realized, dude, the same reason I was getting shitty seed, bro. It's a whole makeup. It's not just these badass females. And even if you put a badass female with a badass male, it does not mean that your fucking offspring is going to be good. If it was only that easy, oh my God.
Right. Or if it, I'd say if it's really what it is, a lot of times as a newbie, you don't really know what you're buying. You're thinking you're buying the right one, and you're buying the fakest version of some shit from, it's a picture that was stolen off a fake version of that, and it's like, and you think you're there.
That is a huge advantage with PCS, and I feel like people as growers and buyers, young growers, should understand this. When you're buying seeds from a breeder, you're not only buying his work and you're trusting his actual work, but you're trusting his palate, you're trusting his flavor choices. A great example of this is Subcool. Rest in peace, you old crazy motherfucker. He had a very specific palate for his selection, and it was very recognizable. Like when you would smell TGA weed, oftentimes you'd be like, oh, that's fucking TGA weed, especially here in the Pacific Northwest, because this was kind of his house for a long time. And it's just kind of like a testament to him specifically and his crew, the stuff that they were selecting and the stuff they were using as their breeding partners. And they had a very specific look to them. They tend to have a ton of resin, not a lot of head size though. That was something I noticed early with a lot of his stuff, was that it was stocky, but covered in resin, tons of flavor if you like that type of flavor. And then, it's just like I said, somebody like me personally, I don't like those flavor profiles, but there's people that love those flavor profiles. So if you're a young grower and a young smoker or whatever, understand that when you're fucking with a breeder or you're buying seeds for somebody or whatever, you're buying into their palate. You have to understand, they selected all their breeding partners, and they should have selected through their breeding partners for their studs too and everything. It's like a long thing of selection, and taste should be, in my opinion, obviously I'm just a fucking fly on the wall, dude, but I think if weed doesn't taste good, we shouldn't even be there.
Yep.
I don't really give a fuck. It would have to be the absolute most amazing pot for me to be super interested in it and it not have flavor. I feel like that's the first thing, flavor and smoke. I mean, obviously we want to get high from it. We want it to have a good effect on our body, but if it doesn't smell good and taste good, I don't fucking, what is this shit? Get this shit out of my face.
I'm with you. Flavor all day. Flavor on everything. Flavor over everything all day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I guess I'm gonna kind of sort of wrap it up, but I'm gonna ask you what's next. Where do you plan to be in 5 years? And I'll make it kind of a two-parter. Have you messed with licensing or any of that bullshit out there? Are you trying to get into any of this metric nonsense and run a shop or do any of that stuff? Or are you just content to make some seeds and chill?
So I'm the head of cultivation for a company out here, and I just, you know, make sure that their weed is grown, and I just mind my P's and Q's, man. With PCS, where I see it going is just us continuing to deliver something that people can trust. You know, when they buy it, they know that the seeds are going to be poppable and they're going to not fucking be mutant trash. Like, there's just a lot of, I've said this to people. I know we're going to wrap it up. This is probably the best advice I could give anybody listening. If you're just getting into the marijuana industry, or you're a young person and you're trying to learn how to do this here, just don't be a piece of shit, and you're already ahead of like 80% of people here. So I'm dead serious. You'll figure this out one way or the other. So that's what I'm doing with PCS. We're just going to stay true to what we do. We make fire crosses, and we make stuff that people enjoy. And in America, I feel like something like that lasts forever. So I feel pretty good at PCS and where we're off to. We're just going to stay doing what we've been doing and stay in the waves, man. The water's warm, baby.
Yes, sir. Give everybody, like, obviously a lot of you are watching Instagram, but for the replay, the Instagram is on top of your screen, Koma the Grower. Give them a follow. And where can people get your seeds, bro? I know you're kind of everywhere, but do you have any sites you want to send people to?
ProlificCoastSeed.com is where you can go buy all the creations that are in stock. We also have, I have a subscription service for PCS seeds, and it's kind of more than a subscription service. It's a group of people, man. It's the Patreon.
Yeah, I've heard about it. Explain it to me. I want to know what's going on with this.
So basically, I have 3 tiers of subs: $25 a month, $50 a month, and $100 a month. The $25 gets a half a pack of seeds. The 50 gets 1 pack of seeds, and the 100 gets 2 packs of seeds. They all come with sticker packs. They all come with like hat pins, lighters, merch, whatever, like just random stuff. And I have write-ups on this Patreon, basically giving younger growers and even older growers a lot of huge keys and concepts that I feel like are left out of the conversations, whether they're left out on purpose or not. But these are things like harvesting and curing techniques, cloning concepts, like anything. It could be any. I've literally written about PM prevention, you name it. It's been written about over there, or it's in the middle of getting written about. We're crushing write-ups over there. So we meet on the 1st and the 14th of every month in the Discord chat, and we talk. There's like a round table of growers, really good growers. All of the patrons have access to that, so they can come 2 days a month and bring their questions, bring any concerns they have. We also help each other. You know, if you're in Arizona and maybe you need a rack of clones, maybe we might be able to fucking pass the word to the, you know, it is what it is. We're definitely just taking care of each other over there. The 3 tiers are all seed subscriptions. So even if you didn't learn anything from the write-ups, you still get your merch every month. And that's kind of what it is, man. It's just a spot for stoners to come and growers to come and learn from somebody. Like, I'm not going to fucking toot my own horn, but dude, in reality, there's so many fucking people out here that don't grow good pot, and it is what it is. I grow good pot. There's good people that grow good pot. There's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of them. Now, if they made Patreons and taught you how to grow pot, or if they're giving you tips in the DM, fucking all for it. A lot of really good growers don't have time, and they don't give a fuck about other growers. They don't. So I think that building that Patreon and me designing it to do what it does is like, nobody's done it. It's definitely special. I think everybody who's on there loves it. We have a really great group of guys and girls over there. So if it's something that you might be interested in, drop in. You can definitely subscribe and check it out. And if you don't like it, you can unsubscribe, and it doesn't cost you a dime. So don't be afraid.
Yeah, everybody go check it out. You need a little help, or you just want to join the community, check out Koma's Discord, or Patreon is what it's called. Get on his Patreon.
Yes, sir.
And,
Yes, sir.
Check it out. So yeah, that's kind of a wrap, dude. Anything you want to say on the way out the door? Final word to you, my man.
It was good. It was good talking to you. I know we don't ever get to really sit down and talk. Everybody's always busy and shit, but definitely good talking with you, man. And it's been a pleasure working with you guys. I know we've done a little bit of side business and stuff, so absolutely just been a pleasure. So thank you for the time, and
Yes,
thank
sir.
everybody for watching. Man. And fuck yeah, dude.
Thanks for doing it, bro. Appreciate it.
Be well, brother.
Peace.
Ciao.
That was Koma. Thank him for coming on and doing that and giving us his time. Yeah, we had to move it back because he had to get the kids from, I think, jiu-jitsu. So, yeah, I appreciate him for making himself available for us tonight. And that's a wrap. So, yeah, I think I'm going to have to piece this one together because we had technical difficulties in the middle. But I think I'm going to have to go ahead and sign this fucker off. Yeah, same time next week, same time. Shit, it might not be. Is it Christmas? No? Okay. Yeah, we'll do one more. We're probably not going to do one the week of Christmas Eve, but we'll do one more next week. So, yeah. Might be like the season finale next week. Might need to take a little time off. It's been one official full year. But, yeah, thanks, everybody. Dark Horse Live, signing the fuck off. See you next week.